If I had a rand for every time somebody has asked me who do I think is going to win the semi-final between the All Blacks and the Springboks, I wouldn't be sitting here now. I'd be quite a rich man and I'd probably be catching the plane to London to watch the game live. It's a very difficult one to call. If one looks at the force of history, it has to be the All Blacks. They are, to use an American phrase, the winningest side in the world. Since the last World Cup, they've got a 90% win record, which is probably better than Real Madrid, better than Barcelona, better than the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody has done that kind of record. So the All Blacks have everything in their favour. They have the world's greatest point scorer. They have Julian Sevilla, who's a great try scorer. They just are the best side for a long time. I noticed that Heineke Meyer even described them as the best of all time. I think there might be a little bit of psychology. So how do the Springboks beat this phenomenal side, the All Blacks? The way, I think, is to play traditional Springbok rugby. They've gone back to that style, and that is to hold the ball tight, to win their kickoffs, to win their lineouts, to scrum well, and then to drive the ball, and make the All Blacks work, and pull the All Black loose forwards into those confrontations, because the All Black loose forwards are key to the way they play. They are often the linking players, and you want to pull them in. So the Springboks are going to play hard and tough. And as the All Blacks said, they're going to try to rip our heads off. And I think that is the way the Springboks have always beaten the All Blacks. They go at them hard, and they're going to have to be able to do that for 80 minutes. The Springboks will then use the up and under over the top quite a bit, put a lot of pressure. So the way for the Springboks to win is to put an enormous amount of pressure on the All Blacks and keep that pressure for 80 minutes. That is the big question. Can they do it for 80 minutes? There are obviously some other factors. Andre Pollard, his goal kicking has got to be spot on. Every chance the Springboks get from playing a pressure game has to go through the poles. The Springboks are not a team out there trying to score tries. So that is how the Springboks will play. The All Blacks are an interesting case, because the way they play, they take a lot of risks, they take a lot of chances, they love to unload the ball, they love to look for a pass, and a lot of people will tell you that's not the way to play a knockout game, because a knockout game is about winning. It's not about how many tries you score. At the end of the game, you just have to have one more point than the team you're up against. But the All Blacks always, it's in their nature, it's in their DNA, they want to score tries. So they might be vulnerable if they make a mistake early on because of this pressure of the Springboks, and they could concede a try. We could get the All Blacks playing catch-up rugby. That said, they are unbelievably skillful. They've got enormous pace and enormous skills in their back line. Dan Carter has come to form right at the right time. He's been off form and now he's playing again like he always did. Dan the man. They've got Smith and Nonu at centre, the world's most experienced centre. They're almost joined at the hip. They know each other so well. They've got Sevilla on the wing, very dangerous. So I think if the All Blacks do have an edge, it is in their back line. But the job for the Springboks is to pull in their loose forwards and to stop them linking. All that said, all those things, what about the weather? There are predictions that it's going to rain. Now, some people think that'll be in the Springboks' favour because we'd be able to play a scrumming, grinding, driving game. But then again, the All Blacks come from one of the wettest countries in the world. They're very accustomed to playing in the wet, and they can still move the ball and still handle very well in the wet. So I don't think the wet is going to be that much of a factor in this game, other than I think that it'll probably, if it does rain, it should really swing towards the All Blacks because they're used to it. Now, I know everybody's sitting out there now and they're saying, you're talking too much, what about a prediction? I'm afraid my prediction, with everything that I've talked about, all the facts in the favour of the All Blacks, I have to go for the All Blacks to probably beat the Springboks by about 6 points. And saying that really hurts my heart.